Well, joining us now is our political analyst, Michael Yaki. Tuesday's a big day. We've got the midterm elections coming up.
Right.
And so break down the states. It's a big battle between the Republicans and the Democrats.
Yeah, this is for control of the United States Senate, and the Republicans need to get a net gain of 6 seats, and they already have 3 in the bag. Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota and West Virginia are basically gone. So then it's like a cafeteria plan for the Republicans. They have to decide which ones they're going to choose, how they're going to do it. And the Democrat strategy is to try and steal 1 or 2 away, make it difficult, try and pin down their resources. But basically, if you're on election night and you're there with your little chart going which ways are going to go, you want to look at these states. You want to look at Alaska. Mark Begich, the incumbent, is in a tough race against Dan Sullivan. You have Arkansas, Mark Pryor, the incumbent, also in a tough race against another member of Congress named Tom Cotton. Colorado, you wouldn't necessarily think Colorado would be in the flip column, but Mark Udall, the incumbent senator, is in deep trouble. He's trailing in the polls to a member named Cory Gardner, and it's a state where Obama has won twice in a row, but he's now very, very, very unpopular there. Iowa, probably Harry Reid is identified as the most important state. He figures whichever way Iowa goes, that's the way the Senate's going to go. It's an open seat. It used to be Tom Harkin's seat, a Democratic seat. Joni Ernst, who's made a sort of a, how would you put it? She's had an interesting ad involving castrating animals as some metaphor for D.C. against Bruce Braley, the member of Congress for Iowa. It's neck and neck. You have Louisiana, where Mary Landrieu all of a sudden is in deep trouble. New Hampshire, where Scott Brown is actually putting up a fight against incumbent Jeanne Shaheen. North Carolina, Kay Hagan looks like she's going to take it away. Kansas, though, is sort of the wild card because you have the situation where the Democrat withdrew from the race. You have an independent named Greg Orman who hasn't said which way he's going to be, Democrat or Republican. Democrats are pouring a lot of money into that. Pat Roberts got into trouble by saying he only went back to Kansas if he had an opponent. That's going to be neck and neck. Watching all those, the Democrats, if they can take Kansas and hold up to 4 or 5 of the others, they're going to be okay. But if they lose Kansas and they lose 3 or 4 others, it's all over. And that's what Obama is worried about right now.
Right, and so he's facing the possibility of a GOP-controlled House and Senate.
Right.
So what's his role been? Because he hasn't really been out there campaigning a whole lot.
No, his numbers are. The common wisdom is when you have a president who's a little unpopular, and he's a little unpopular right now, you don't send him out on the campaign trail. You send him out to raise money, to simply turn on the spigot and then send the money to candidates who need it. This is a pattern that's been repeated throughout history. The most recent is George W. Bush. His approval ratings were somewhere around 38%. Obama's is about low 40s, and he was nowhere to be seen during the 2006 midterms, but he was to be seen raising money left and right. That's what Obama's doing now. Now what the president is doing is he's helping out in some states, very blue states, Pennsylvania, where he's helping a candidate who's probably going to win in a landslide anyway. Connecticut, which is going to be a very close race for a Democratic incumbent. And then he's doing a lot of other things to try and get out the African-American turnout, which will help a lot of the Senate candidates in the South. They want him to help with that, but they just don't want him in the actual state itself.
One person who's been really busy campaigning this weekend is Mitch McConnell, who is the Senate Minority Leader. Right. He may become the Senate Majority Leader.
And he's in a tough race against Allison Grimes
in
Kentucky. There's been a little brouhaha over the fact that the McConnell campaign sent out a notice, an election violation notice, which was really just a political flyer. It was targeted toward African-American Democratic strongholds. A lot of people are claiming foul. He's trying to do voter suppression. The fact is that Mitch McConnell, for lack of a better word, wins his elections all the time. He wins dirty. He wins with a lot of money. I think he's probably going to pull it out this time now, but it has been easy for him.
So do you think with President Obama's unpopularity right now that the GOP has a very good chance of controlling both the House and the Senate.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. The only question right now is, will Obama break the record for most midterm losses in the House that's currently held by Harry Truman at around 83. He's already lost 66. No one's expecting a big wave, and maybe a little wave. But so all the political betting right now is whether or not he goes from 66 and loses 17 and breaks Truman's record of 83. But the Senate is really where his legacy is going to be challenged. Whether or not whether or not he's just going to be in a holding pattern for 2 years or not is going to depend on whether he holds the Senate or not. And like I said, watch for these races, see how they break, and you'll know what's going to happen.
All right, our political analyst Michael Yaki, thank you so much for joining us. We're back with more coming up.
See you Tuesday night.
We'll see you after the break.